get this camera straight. I'm in my humble garage. Got this car that I am doing a timing job on, and the timing's done. I got my car that's over there in the back, just collecting dust until I put the turbo stuff back on it, because I've been stationed overseas. Haven't had time to work on it. Well, I've had time, but I've been focusing on this and another car, and yeah, whatever. Time I get home from work, I'm like, I don't feel like working on it. So, anyway, today we're doing a flapper mod for this car. This car might not have its emission equipment anymore. This car is getting a tune. This car needs flapper mod, so most of y'all have heard of Jackal Motorsports. That seems to be what everyone's going with now. I did a review on them when they first started doing stuff, and they've been kind of ramping up ever since. Everyone's all about the pops and bangs. Anyway, flapper mod. So, move this guy down. Cool. Here's the engine. It's sitting here. It's dirty as hell. I'm going to pressure wash it once I'm done with everything. Intake manifold. You can do this in car. Carry your butt to the hardware store, get some nylon screws, nylon nuts, a plethora of washers, which you'll use to get the spacing correct on the flap. Now, what do I use for the flapper? This is Derlin. Alright? It's pretty much resistant to all things petroleum, methanol, high temperature. You could also use HDPE, you can use PTFE, you could use, move this up, you can use Teflon, not Teflon, what am I thinking of? Lexan. You could use Teflon if it's not super flexible, I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, so Derlin, Palm C, is what it's also known as. Nylon 6 is what the, Nylon 6-6 is what the factory flapper is made from. And you can find nylon sheet as well. I go with about 3mm thick. That's how thick this is. The factory one is like 12 or 15mm thick. So yeah, you're really cutting down that cross section there when the air comes through. And that's why you gain some horsepower on the top end. Some people are like, oh yeah, it feels way more responsive all around. No, it doesn't. Your flap is closed at pretty much anything under 5100 RPMs from the factory. So it's up and it's out of the way. So don't give me that mess. But I'm going to show you how we do this, or at least how I do it. So yeah. All right. So intake manifold. Let me get my fancy pointer. TIG welding rod. Check. All right. So you have a number of bolts around this intake manifold. Most of y'all are going to do this in the car. You can do it in the car. It's not a big deal. Just be careful when you're disconnecting your knock sensors and things like that. Disconnecting your solenoids to move the wiring harness out of the way. Okay. They are lodged, they are slid in here usually, so that does give you something to press down on while you squeeze the tab and pull out. I usually use a long screwdriver to get to the solenoids. It is what it is. But anyway, so move this down. Alright, so in here you have the outer bolts which hold the whole intake manifold, and then you have the inner ones. The inner ones sit on the silver or whatever color your intake manifold is surface. Pay attention to which ones you're unbolting, because you really only have to take this top half off. So I've already went ahead and done all the bolts that I need to prior to this video, so I'm not wasting time while you watch me unbolt things, because who wants to do that? That's kind of silly. I could do a time lapse, but that's just more video work I have to do, and well, why? Alright, so this guy usually gets stuck on there. You want to disconnect this vacuum line, you want to disconnect this vacuum canister, let that hang. Alright, your flapper, make sure it works. It should move freely. If it doesn't, you're going to have to disconnect this guy, all right, and you're going to have to pull him out. And usually it involves a screwdriver, and you wiggle a little bit. And on the other side, you wiggle a little bit, and you work it back and forth until it comes out. A lot of times they're really seized in there. Once it's out, get some emery cloth and some Scotch-Brite and just polish it up, smooth it out real good, clean inside the bore. Put white lithium grease or assembly lube in there, something that's not going to dry up over time. Okay, and lube it up and put it back together. Pay attention to what orientation the spring is on. Okay, other than that, that's pretty dang on easy. So let's get this intake off. You can leave the fuel rail connected. You do not have to take that off. Where did I put my pliers, guys? Alright. Cool. So. Oh my gosh. Damn dude is in there. I'm pretty sure it's a T25. Yeah, it is. So, these guys. Alright, let me go get my freaking guy. Alright, we're back. Goodness, that was not supposed to take that. Anyway, let's do this. Put these back in there so I don't lose them, because I will. There we go. Cool. Alright, so I got all those bolts out, right? Just need my screwdriver. Move these over there. Screwdriver. Cool. I forgot. Gotta take that throttle body off. No big deal. So, once you take that off, don't forget to take the silly rubber hose off. Come on. There we go. Done. Okay, here's your lovely flapper. This gasket, let's see, take this off. This gasket is not a replaceable part because this manifold is not a serviceable manifold. Alright, so I've always reused them, never had any issue. You can take it out, you can get Permatex Right stuff, and you can reseal it with that, which I think I have some over here so you can see it. This stuff right here is amazing. It says 1 minute. They say you're supposed to assemble it within like 5. Be careful with it. It does tend to come out kind of fast. So, this guy has little metal tabs, and you can't really see them, but you can see these little rectangles here. So what you're going to do is take a little screwdriver and basically break the little tabs off. You're going to go right below that lip. Oops. There we go. Make sure they're all broken. Make sure they're broken. The tabs pop out. See how they popped out? Boom, boom, boom. Once that's done, you can flip them up. All right, and do the same thing on the other side. And then you're gonna break this guy, this little loop that goes around. Okay. You might be able to slide it off. So, hold on, I gotta put the camera down. Cool. Come over here, do the same shit over here. Boom, 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 and boom. Now, since it doesn't, see how it slides forward but not all the way forward? It's because of the little metal guys. So, no big deal. Just gotta get some sense. Trusty, handy dandy snips, also known as dikes. But in today's day and age, someone's gonna get offended. Here. A few little snips. Make sure you get a good one in there. There we go. Plastic. Boom. Alright, cool. So you can see what I did. These were all the way across. Just broke them off. Done. Okay. After that, you're going to trim this, lay it on top of your replacement piece, trace it. Keep moving. Alright. Here's the magic that held your flapper before. Super duper complicated. Okay. Because it's German engineering, yeah? Alright. So, with these guys, you can, and I'll probably bring the camera over here. With these guys, you just break the front plastic off and it should slide forward. Or you push the little tab and it slides forward. So, maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. Let's see. See this little metal tab here? Alright. Bring that up and it slides forward. Cool. Yeah. And just to show you again, bring that up, slides forward. Too easy, right? Cool. I'm gonna have to clean the hell out of this camera when I'm done, guys. Greasy fingers. Alright, that's done. Now that you've gotten that off, you take a little 1/4-inch drill each one of these holes, okay? And that's gonna hold, that's where your nylon bolts will go through, and you're gonna use washers to, one, distribute load, because that's what washers do. Well, that's part of what they do. And then also, you're going to use them to space out and make sure you get the right height, so when this flap closes, you know it's closed. All right, yeah, more to follow. Y'all, we're back. Got my flapper made out of Delrin, or Darlin, sorry, I always do that. Pretty damn easy. Find the center, mark all 4, boop, 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 boop. Drill it, 1/4-inch. Drill these guys out, because they're kind of like rectangle squares. Drill them out so they're actual circles. Don't drop things. Anyway, so yeah, so these guys are gonna go through there. Well, look at that, nice quality fit. I recommend you find the ones that are hex. My hardware store didn't have any hex; they only had a screw type. No big deal. It's just gonna be a little bit more cumbersome to tighten them down, but not a big deal. So this guy will go on there. And I'm pretty sure that most of the rest of this I showed you guys at my other video with my carnage, where I discovered that Lexan and methanol do not go good together. So if you plan on running water meth, because you're one of those boosted boys, you might want to get something that's compatible. And that's why, like, when I was hunting around, I got Delrin or Darlin, and I got what do you call it? PTFE. PTFE, if you remember from the other video, is kind of flexible, but the support points 1, 2, 3, 4, and the backing on this covers so much of the surface area. It's not gonna bend. Ain't gonna happen, coach. All right. Come here, bitch. There we go. I'm gonna have to wall out one of these holes. I was off just a little bit. No big deal. So let me go do that. But yeah, and wall these out just a little bit. Helps if you have a drill press, guys. Get a drill press. Okay. Walled out that hole a little bit, guys. As far as putting the washers in, I think I said it in the other video too. Whoops, why did I do that? You're gonna have to be basically spacing out the layer of your choosing. In my case, Darlin. So in this case, what I found with the 3mm is I had thick washers and thin washers. It took 1 thick and 3 thin. I couldn't find the thick ones anymore, so all I had was the thin. 4 thin ones equals 1 thick one. So I'm doing 7 of these skinny washers that you get from frickin' Lowe's. That's what I'm gonna start with. It doesn't even tell you what the thickness is, so what else? Oops, I dropped my guy. Oh news. Oh, no. This guy. Here. So yeah, here's the process with this. And I got some more to do, so be right back. We're gonna start with 6. Get out the way. Yeah. Cool. Alright. As I showed you on the other video. Yeah. This quick release. There we go. It's supposed to work. Cool. As I showed you on the other video, you reach on the other side and you lift the flap to make sure it shuts properly. Alright. I already put the oil filter housing on here. Torqued it down and everything. I'm not taking it back off. But ideally, you would take this guy off, which is your 90-degree neck. And there's a screw back here behind the oil filter housing. How convenient, right? So, anyway, I can still see what I need to see, but if you wanted better vision, then that's what you would do. You take that thing off, takes its neck out of the way, and then you're just looking to make sure this guy closes. Alright? Too easy. If it doesn't, if there's a gap or whatever, add another spacer, should be good to go. Or another washer. I'm on 6. Looks like I might need 7, but I'm going to get a flashlight and check it out. Alright, I got 6 washers under there. Okay, I'm just checking to see that it closes along this edge. And oh so slightly on the back edge, it looks like it was, you know, I'm talking fingernail thick, maybe less. I can see possible space. So by getting 7, it'll close there first, and there's just enough flex that it'll seal the front too. Alright. I don't know if I need to be that anal retentive about it, but I recall reading somewhere that it needs to be pretty well sealed. So with that, you could, I've done it before in the past. I did like a layer of silicone and let it bake in the sun. So that kind of provided a sealing surface. I did that on my Lexan, and I drove it around, I don't know, if I put like 10,000 miles on it. And when the Lexan failed, and I took it all back apart, which you saw in the video, the other video, the silicone was still there. So I didn't have to worry about it like peeling off or whatever. It adhered to where it needed to adhere. It was the ultra black stuff. For your bolts, for your nuts, you literally can finger tighten the hell out of them. That's all you need. They are nylon bolts. They don't need to be, torqued with a wrench or nothing. And I normally will put a dab of silicone on each bolt, and that'll be my Loctite. All right. If any of you all have taken apart an oil pan, you know how well silicone can hold. So, yeah, that's all I got, guys. I mean, that's it. That's it in a nutshell as far as flapper goes. Any questions, comments in the comments section below.